Good evening. Tonight we're talking about dolphins, those smiling, acrobatic icons of the sea. We see them as the ocean's friendly ambassadors, always ready with a click and a whistle. But what if that's not the whole story? What if behind that Perma-Grin lies a reality that's less flipper and more Game of Thrones? This video explores the controversial, hypothetical question, why should dolphins go extinct? Not because we believe it, but to challenge our assumptions about animal behavior and public perception. This is a philosophical deep dive, not a call to action. Dolphins are vital to marine ecosystems and deserve protection. We're simply pulling back the curtain to ask some difficult questions about one of the world's most beloved animals. So take a deep breath and join me as we wade into some very murky and frankly, quite disturbing waters. Let's start with a jarring truth. Dolphins can be, frankly, aquatic hooligans. Scientists have documented shocking behaviors, acts of aggression and violence that would never make it into a theme park show. Male dolphins have been observed killing the calves of rivals, likely to bring females back into estrus for mating. Imagine if golden retrievers did this. There'd be a global crisis. Yet with dolphins, we shrug and say, oh, nature. There's also sexual aggression. Male dolphins form gangs to isolate and forcibly mate with females, sometimes for weeks. They bite, chase, and slap to keep her in line. A coordinated assault, not a gentle courtship. Dolphins also attack and kill other marine animals like porpoises, seemingly for sport. Their intelligence and power sometimes fuel brutal, bullying behavior. If we judged dolphins by the same standards as land mammals, their reputation would be in tatters. Instead, we give them a pass because they're cute and live underwater. Charismatic megafauna privilege at its finest. The first dark argument, why the double standard? Are we ignoring their dark side just because we like the way they look? Now, let's talk about that famous dolphin smile. It's not a sign of happiness, it's just the shape of their jaw. A dolphin could be stressed, sick, or fighting and still look like it's grinning. This smile is the greatest PR coup in animal history, letting us project our fantasies onto them. The entertainment industry thrives on this illusion, masking the reality of their complex, sometimes violent intelligence. Dolphins use their smarts for dominance and manipulation, not just for tricks. Our love for their smile blinds us to their true nature and puts people at risk. We treat them like cartoon characters, not wild animals. The real animal is far more complex and far darker than the brand we've created. If an animal's survival in our minds depends on a lie, what does that say about us? Are we protecting dolphins or just a comforting fantasy? Let's get controversial. Could dolphins, as apex predators, be harming marine ecosystems, especially in oceans already stressed by humans? Dolphins are efficient hunters, eating hundreds of pounds of fish daily. In a healthy ocean, that's normal. But our oceans are a mess, overfished, polluted, and fragile. Some argue that dolphin success could tip the balance, competing with struggling fisheries and pushing fish stocks further down. Of course, human overfishing is the real villain here. Still, the thought experiment asks, in a broken ecosystem, could a super predator become a problem? It's a cold, utilitarian argument, reducing dolphins to resource competitors. Ugly, but it's a perspective that gets raised. For many coastal communities, dolphins aren't symbols of grace, they're pests. Imagine you're a small-scale fisherman. Dolphins steal fish from your nets, damage your gear, and threaten your family's livelihood. They're clever, following your boat and raiding your catch. For these communities, the dolphin is a thief, not flipper. Conservation laws protecting dolphins can feel like an attack on their right to survive. The question becomes, should the needs of a charismatic animal outweigh the survival of impoverished people? This isn't malice, it's desperation. Our romantic view of dolphins is a luxury many can't afford. The global dolphin protection movement can feel distant and unfair to those struggling to feed their families. It's an ethical minefield with no easy answers. We pour resources and passion into saving dolphins, but does this focus create a conservation blind spot? Dolphin exceptionalism can distract from bigger environmental issues, like mangrove loss, krill decline, or ocean acidification. We love the symbol, but neglect the system. Every dollar spent on dolphins is a dollar not spent on less glamorous but more critical causes. Why dolphins over pigs or octopuses, both highly intelligent? Our priorities are shaped by aesthetics and sentimentality, not science. The pro-extinction argument here is a critique of our inconsistent ethics. Are we helping the ocean or just our own feelings? Here's a speculative argument. Dolphins as disease reservoirs. Like all wild animals, dolphins carry bacteria and viruses, some potentially transmissible to humans, especially in captivity. The risk is tiny, but it exists, mostly for trainers and vets. Dolphins could also spread disease among marine species, acting as vectors. Still, you're far more likely to get sick from undercooked chicken than a dolphin. This is classic threat inflation, a minuscule risk blown out of proportion. But in a thought experiment about extinction, even the wildest arguments get airtime. We've explored dolphins as thugs, deceivers, competitors, pests, distractions, and disease vectors. But these arguments aren't real reasons for extinction, they're reflections of our own biases and misunderstandings. The violence is natural history. The deception is our projection. The ecological impact is dwarfed by our own. These arguments are about us, our need for heroes and villains, our discomfort with moral ambiguity, our guilt over harming the planet. The dolphin is a mirror showing us our own contradictions. The real threat to the ocean isn't dolphins, it's us: overfishing, pollution, climate change. Blaming dolphins is a dangerous deflection. The real question: how can we coexist with the full reality of dolphins, intelligent, violent, beautiful, and wild? We must move beyond the smiling caricature and protect them as vital parts of a marine world we're responsible for. The challenge isn't to judge, but to understand and to protect the ocean they call home. That's the uncomfortable, necessary truth. So, where does this leave us? After all the dark arguments, we return to a simple truth. These are thought experiments, not justifications for harm. Dolphins are essential to our oceans and deserve respect and protection. Their complexity doesn't diminish their value, it deepens it. We must hold two thoughts. Dolphins can be violent, and they are worthy of protection. The real change needed is in us, our understanding, our priorities, our stewardship of the sea. Thank you for joining me on this unsettling journey. Good night.